From the year 49 BCE to the year 44 BCE was the reign of a man called Julius Caesar, Julius Caesari. Hi everyone. This week I was on duty before the schools were unceremoniously closed down by one Professor Magoha, son of Magoha. And I delivered what I would consider the greatest speech in any high school in this East African country called Kenya. But before I did that, I wanted to capture the students' attention, actually grab it and pocket it. And therefore I started by speaking to them in the newest language in town, Shembeteng. And because of that, allow me to teach us Shembeteng so that everyone can understand my speech. Now, Shembeteng is one of the easiest languages that can be understood by anybody within 1 minute and 23 seconds. If you shall not have understood Shembeteng within 1 minute and 23 seconds, consider yourself a very slow learner. Start the timer. Shembeteng is simply about A, E, I, O, U. Now these A, E, O, U's are placed in Mbata, Mbete, Mbiti, Mboto, and Mbutu. What happens with Shembeteng is that you cut words into two, ensuring that you remain with only one syllable at the end. Let us consider a few basic words. The word sasa has two syllables, sa and sa. Cut it into two, and because the ending of the first sa is an A, or rather an A, we input mbata and end up with sambatasa. Consider the word sheng. Again cut it into two, and because the first syllable is ending with an A, or rather an E, you input mbete and you have Shembeteng, the name of this language. Mwalimu has three syllables with I as the ending of the second syllable, and therefore you input mbiti and end up with mwalimbitimu. Nakulov has four syllables, and because of the ending lo, you input mboto, and voila, you have nakulombotov. Lastly, we have Kizungu, which becomes Kizumbutungu. And that is it. Nothing more, nothing less. But for the sake of the slow learners in my class, let us consider a few more examples. Kenyatta becomes Kenyambatata. Chege becomes Chembetege. Raila becomes Raimbitila. Wajakoya becomes Wajakombotoya. And Ruto becomes Rumbututo. Having learned Shembeteng, this is exactly what I told my students. Habambatari yembetenu. Hii wimbitiki, mimbitimi na mwalimbitimu, ngambatare, simbitisi, ndio tumbu tuko jumbu tuti. Na hii wimbitiki, natamba taka, tuwapeleke na mtaramba tara. Of course, I had to call my students a number of times before I finally sengenyed my bosses by saying, hamba tapa nyumbu tuma yamba tangu, kuna kimbi titu wanaramba tada. Of course, at this point, I had again to spend a few more seconds calming my students down. But I was very sure that now I had captured the students' attention 100% and pocketed it. And it was time to deliver the sucker punch, and I went straight into it. From the year 49 BCE to the year 44 BCE was the reign of a man called Julius Caesar, Julius Caesari. Earlier on, he was a consul and a military general. A very successful one, I must add. In the year 61 BCE, he divorced his second wife Pompeia on allegations that she had cheated on him. Although it was not clear whether his wife had really been involved with another man, Caesar still decided to divorce her, stating that his wife should be above suspicion, that the wife of such a senior government official should not even be suspected of such a despicable act, let alone do it. I therefore told my students that I strongly believed that one day they shall also reach that level where we, the teachers, shall not even suspect them. That one day the exams shall be in the staff room. One student, not necessarily the prefect, shall come for them, distribute it to fellow students, collect the exam papers after the time is over, and bring the papers back to the staff room, where the teachers shall be seated doing their own things. This shall happen because the students shall have reached a point where forget about cheating. They shall not even think, imagine, dream, plan, or even contemplate about cheating. Like Caesar's wife, they shall be above suspicion or beyond reproach, as the Englishmen like to put it. I further gave them an example of one of the students called Mburugu, and I told them that if I was walking towards the staff room and I saw Mburugu coming out of the staff room, and by the time I get to the staff room I realize that one bread is missing, of course the first person to call would be Mburugu. But I am not calling Mburugu because I suspect him. I'm calling him to ask him whether he saw a student jump out of the window while he was getting or when he was in the staff room. This simply means that Mburugu is not a suspect at all, because he is above suspicion. He is above reproach. I was telling them about integrity, doing the right thing even when nobody is watching you. I was talking about being honest. I was telling them about being upright men and women, and therefore I added one more example of Thomas Sankara, who changed the name of his country in 1984 from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, which means the land of the upright people, the land of honest people, the land of incorruptible people. This kind of integrity shall not only be among my students, but shall diffuse across the men and women of this country, where one biro shall not cost 8,700 shillings, one TV shall no longer cost 1.8 million shillings, one 4GB flash disk shall not cost 2,425 shillings, grading a 10-kilometer Maram road shall no longer cost 57 million shillings, and we shall no longer buy a non-carcinogenic hurbaru at a cost of 109,000 Kenyan shillings. Thank you so much. I'm out.